Hey, what's up you guys? Today I'm going to be telling my birth story. So I wanted to get this out before I introduced little Peter to you all, just so I didn't want to forget everything, every detail that happens. I already tried to film this once and my camera battery died, so that has been a little frustrating. And I'm finally getting down to filming this again. So here we go. So little bit of backstory if you did not know already. I had a miscarriage last year in February, and Peter is our rainbow baby. We got pregnant with him 2 months post miscarriage. Pregnancy was pretty normal. The only thing I had was gestational diabetes, diagnosed from week 30 till birth, obviously. It was all diet controlled. And due to this, I was getting weekly ultrasounds. My last ultrasound was at 39 weeks. Peter was measuring in the 50th percentile right after I got diagnosed with gestational diabetes. And then from there, he was pretty much an average size, so they weren't too worried about his size. And I was diet controlled, if I didn't say that already. At my 38-week appointment, we'll start with my 37-week appointment. It was the first time I got my cervix checked, and I was 1 centimeter dilated, and I did not really advance from there. At 38 weeks appointment, my doctor expressed that she did not want me to go too far past 40 weeks. So she suggested if we do not scheduling an induction. Excuse me. I have baby moving over here and dogs moving over there. I'll make sure he's okay. She wanted me to schedule from the end of 39 weeks to the close to the end of my 40 weeks appointment and induction. So I kind of had an idea of when I wanted to do it, and I just discussed it with my husband, and I kind of talked to my mom about it, and we ended up deciding to do near the end of 39 weeks. So the earliest induction that was due to the next week, having some scheduling conflicts. Of course, he could have come at that time, but if I was going to have control of it, I decided let's do it before drill weekend. My husband's in the Army Reserves, so I didn't want it to interfere with other things too much. Also, just staying within his due date, there was a lot of factors in it. So, and I was ready. I was really uncomfortable, as I probably stated in my 3rd trimester video. Anywho, so my induction was scheduled for Friday the 29th. The hospital I was delivering at, girls, calm down. Dogs. Okay, so they have you come in. No, Luna, Jetta. They're driving me nuts. So they have you come in the night before to get settled and start the cervix ripening or whatever with Cervidil. So I came in at 5 o'clock on the 28th, Thursday the 28th. My induction was Friday the 29th in January. His due date was the 31st, so we weren't too early. So we got there at 5:30. They got us admitted. We had to do all that admitting paperwork and things. Got put upstairs, got put in a room, got comfortable. Nurse came in, checked all my vitals, and then about 7:30 is when they put the Cervidil in. And if you don't know what Cervidil is, it's like a little teensy tampon thing on a really, really extremely long string, and then they stick it up into you, and it helps like soften up the cervix. So when they do induce you, it makes it easier on your body. At that point, I was still a centimeter half dilated, so I had not advanced any. This was also another reason for my induction. I was like, I'm not advancing, so it might just end up happening anyway. Of course, it can happen anytime. So I got my Cervidil at 7:30. You had to sit laying down for 2 hours after they put the Cervidil in. So if you're wondering, that is what happens with that. So you have that for 2 hours. At 9:30, she came in and checked me, and I had already progressed to 3 centimeters, so I was softening pretty good. They brought me food. I brought my husband food, so we had I had a sandwich, started eating, and then about 9:45 I felt a like sharp kick, which I thought was just him kicking me, and it was like a pop. And I've had my water break before with my miscarriage, and this was a little more painful. And I don't know if it was just because it was mixture with the kick, but I felt the pop, and I sat there for a minute because nothing happened. I was like, okay, well that wasn't my water because nothing gushed. And then all of a sudden I felt like a weird like pulse of fluid. And I called the nurse and let them know, I'm pretty sure my water just broke. So I was 3 centimeters dilated. She went to go let the doctor know, and ended up taking the Cervidil out so I wouldn't progress too much. About that time, because my hospital was allowing 2 visitors, I went ahead and called my mom because she wasn't going to come in until the next morning for the induction. So I went ahead and called her, let her know my water went ahead and broke, so she could come up just in case things progressed overnight. She didn't want to miss anything. So we ended up relaxing, watching movies. I wasn't allowed to finish my food because my water broke, so that was really disappointing. But at least I had gotten to eat something before my water broke. Thank you, Peter, for letting me finish at least the sandwich. I was trying to get some rest, but I couldn't sleep. Like I could feel the contractions. They came about 30 minutes after my water broke. They weren't terrible. I don't really know what to compare them to. I feel like everybody has contractions a little bit differently. These were like cramps. I don't know how else to describe them. So I kind of had a moment where I was just debating on whether to get my epidural or not, and I really wanted to try to go as long as possible without it. But I also knew that I needed to get some rest because I was not sleeping. So I think I dozed off a couple of times, but your adrenaline's kind of high, you're excited. I was kind of uncertain of things because I was like, well, this is happening a lot faster than I thought it was going to. So about 12:30 I decided, it was actually probably closer to 9:30, I talked to the nurse and my mom about the epidural. Like, I'm kind of wondering if I should just go ahead and get it so I can get some rest. And she says, you know, there's nothing wrong with that, and rest is probably more important than your pride at this point. So I went ahead and got the epidural. The doctor was super nice that came in and did it. He happened to just finish his C-section, so he was already close by. He ended up putting it in, and I ended up getting he ended up hitting a vein, ended up having to do it again. The first time he did it, mostly my left side went numb, and then the second time it was better. I did get some pain on that one, and there was like a really sharp pinching, and I do have scoliosis, so it might have affected my epidural experience. It wasn't terrible though, just very uncomfortable, and that pinch was a little bit painful, but otherwise it wasn't terrible. So I got my epidural, and because of the epidural they make you continuously switch sides you're laying on. So I started on my right side, got to the point where my left foot was really, like, my whole left leg was just totally, like, I could not move it. I could move my right leg and not my left leg, and I think it's just because of, like, how the medicine went in the first time. And then I rolled over. I think I got some sleep at this point. When I look back at my watch, because I had my smartwatch on, it does look like I got about an hour or so of sleep. Of course, I don't know. I don't remember an hour or two of sleep. I may have fizzled in and out. I don't know. So at 4 o'clock in the morning, the doctor or the nurse came in to flip me, so I was on my right side. She checked me while she was flipping me, so I was 5 centimeters at this point and 90% effaced. This was 4 o'clock in the morning, so my water broke at 9:45-ish. Yeah. You do the math. I'm not good at it. Flip me to my left side, and I think I got more sleep on this side. I believe it was a little more than that. So I flipped over. It was about an hour, because I remember this is when I started getting really bad hip pain. And it felt like, kind of, if you've ever run a race or anything before, this is what I compared it to. It was the last, like, 6 miles of a marathon, and my hip was hurting. I was like, Mom, I feel like I just ran a marathon. My hip hurts so bad. And I was wondering if just because it's me, I have my own, like, personal joint problems, so I was wondering if it was something like that. And I hit the epidural thing once, and because you get the button and you can hit it every 15 minutes. So I hit it once and just kind of sat there to see if it would help. I don't know how long I gave it. It was over 15 minutes before I hit it again, and that was the last time I hit it. Just because my hip hurt so bad. And then the nurse came in and I said, you know, I'm having really bad hip pain on this side. Can we flip sides? Hoping that it would help. So she flipped me on my back first, to check me, and she's like, no wonder your hip hurts. You're 10 centimeters. So this was 5:15 in the morning. My hip hurt so bad, and yeah, I was 10 centimeters dilated. So she went to go find the doctor, message the doctor and see what they wanted me to do. So she wanted me to get some more rest. She did flip me to the other side, and I was just like, oh my goodness. I was expecting all day on the 29th, being in labor, whatever, enjoying my experience, and I slept through most of it. It went by so fast. So she did. I was continuously having the hip pain. It was more of a continuous feeling. I don't really feel like it was like a pulsing thing. I wasn't having any other pain, just in my hip. And I'm assuming it's because we were expanding at this point. Baby's getting ready to come out. So they gave us like an hour, and then at 6:30 the nurse came in. We started doing some practice pushing, and then real pushing. So my doctor was supposed to be there at 7:30 to start my actual, like, induction. So we were supposed to induce with Pitocin at 7:30 that next morning, but apparently PD had other plans. We started pushing with the nurse, and then once we got his head underneath my pelvis, I think that took about an hour or hour and a half of pushing. And once we got him under my pelvis, she went to go find one of the doctors. There was 2 doctors from my practice there that morning. My doctor went to go do a C-section at 8 o'clock, because she had that scheduled. And then the other doctor was currently helping somebody else deliver a baby. And so we sat there and we kept doing some, like, pushes. And then leave like another hour and a half later. So we did 6:30 to 7:30 and 7:30 to 8:30. So it was an hour and 15 minutes later. He was born at 8:48 in the morning. So from the last time the epidural continuously gives you medicine, but I stopped pushing the button after a certain point, and I allowed myself to feel like the pain. It was really pain. It was uncomfortable. I allowed myself to kind of be able to feel the contractions while I was pushing. I definitely could feel all the pressure down there. The pressure, the stretching, everything. So I did get to feel some of the experience without too much pain, and he was born. Of course, the very last thing he does is kick my bladder on the way out, so that's very typical for me. My husband got to help with the pushing stuff. They did they set up a blanket or whatever, and we pulled against each other. It was magical. So it was very special. I did get a little teary-eyed, which I didn't think I was going to. Put on my chest. I don't really remember much after that. I feel like I ate food, but I can't remember. They got him cleaned off. He was 8 pounds 10 ounces at birth and 22 inches long. 22 and a quarter inches long. So he's pretty long. Trying to remember. Went to the bathroom. I got dizzy. Of course, I always look down when I'm moving. I did get a little dizzy when they were moving me to the bathroom. Standing was a different experience with the epidural. I had no bladder control. That was great. Yeah, I guess that's my unique story. We stayed in the hospital for 2 days, 3 days. Well, we came in Thursday and we checked out Sunday, so do the math. My brain doesn't work like that. So he was born. I feel like it was more ideal. I was terrified of getting Pitocin, so I didn't have to do that, and so I was pretty excited about that. The Cervidil did it on its own, which I'm really happy about. I didn't have to force contractions or anything. Only had to do a little bit of medicine to get things rolling, and everybody at the hospital I delivered at was amazing. They were all super nice, super caring. I felt like I was at home there. So my whole birth experience was pretty awesome, and I'm immediately I'm ready to have another one. Let's talk, Charlotte. we need some not pregnancy years. So I hope you all enjoyed my birth story. It wasn't too exciting, but it is unique to me. Everybody kind of has their own unique birth story. But if you have any questions or concerns, make sure you comment down below and I will respond. I know these birth stories helped me when I was pregnant and getting ready to give birth. I was terrified. I cried before I went in for my induction because I was scared. So it was not as bad as I thought it was going to be, but I know it could have gone completely different. So anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this story. I'm going to do a pregnancy journey video next, so keep a lookout for that, and make sure you are subscribed to me so you catch it when it comes out. And don't forget give me a thumbs up, and I will see you all next time.